Everybody, it's Suzanne A. Wells, and I'm really excited to have Lyndsay Bauer with us today discussing her eBay business. And she is in my Facebook group and posted some photos of her setup in her 800 square foot apartment. And there was a lot of interest in her post. So we're going to show you those photos during this video and just talk about how she does this, her business, so that this can inspire some of you who either need to get busy organizing or maybe have a downsizing in your future and aren't sure how you can move your business to a smaller space. So thank you so much for spending some time with me today, Lyndsay. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking.
Great. Well, can you tell us a little bit about how you even got into eBay to start with?
Well, I'm 40 years old and I went to college, of course, right after high school for fashion. And when I left there, I worked in fashion retail, from big businesses to small private businesses, from store management to buyer to merchandising. Did all of that, and in 2008, I received a phone call that I was terminally ill.
Oh,
and
no.
So I decided to fight this disease, and I went on a government program to come up with a cure. And how things happen when you're sick, you end up having to stop working and taking care of your health. And in 2013 in December, I decided I was ready to go back to work. And when I was probably in my second week of working at a major department store, and my husband was dropping me off at work. It was a Sunday. And he saw the look in my face, the dread of going back to work and with all these people around me having to work on, 9 to 5 major hours on my feet. I was miserable. Miserable.
Oh, I know. I did it last year. I tried to go back and do a regular job last year because my kids were both in college and, I didn't have to be at home anymore. And I thought, well, maybe I should just get out in the real world and just stop hiding behind eBay. And I did it for 8 months. And all I did all day long was think about, I can't wait to get home and do my eBay.
See, I didn't even do eBay at the time. My husband taught me how to be an extreme couponer.
Oh, couponing. Okay, so great, yeah.
Yeah. So, but he told me he was dropping me off, and he goes, "You go in there, and you quit your job. I have a plan for you." I'm like, "All right, I'm not going to argue. I went in, quit my job."
Wow, does your husband have a brother that's available?
Seriously, that's what everybody asks. Everybody asks me. But I walked back out, got in the car, and I said, "Well, what's the plan?" He goes, "We're going thrifting." And I've always gone thrifting. I'm always about saving a penny, and I like wearing things that not everybody else wears. I'm very unusual dresser and stuff like that. So I said, "Okay, I'm happy to go shopping." And we bought a bunch of stuff, and he goes, "Okay, now we're going to go home, and we're going to list on eBay." I'm like, "eBay? What's eBay?" And he let me down from the computer. I watched the YouTube of Break and Profit. Actually, was one I watched.
Oh yeah, he's got a lot of videos. He's good. I like Steve. Yeah.
And this is when he was involved in eBay more. So I was watching these videos. He goes, "You have to sit here just like when you learn how to exchange coupons. You watch every single YouTube. You do all your research, and then you list your things." And that's what I do. I do eBay now, and I do it full time. I go by a set schedule, and we're making such a great living through it. My husband works a full-time job, but we have the luxury of traveling now because I work from home. So during the summer, we travel all summer. I work all year round, but I have that Amazon going in, so I'm still making a profit even though I'm on the road.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a miracle. eBay is seriously a miracle for me, and it seriously saved my life. I had a second opportunity at life, and eBay made it happen.
And that it puts it all into perspective. Life is not about working a job you hate so you can save money to go on a vacation. It's about having a job or a way to make money so that you can love every day. Have a life you love so that you're not always waiting for that vacation. And so, yeah, I'm really on board with what you're saying there.
It was, everybody says, oh, it's not to be sick. This was a blessing in my life because I changed my diet, I changed my lifestyle. I was working 60 to 70 hours a week at retail, miserable, and I don't have to do that. Like, my whole life was about work. Where's the next dollar coming from? We always, lived spending money to keep up with the Joneses, the next door neighbors. And, when I got sick, everything changed. My whole entire life changed, and it's completely for the better. I am so healthy now. I eat properly. I'm on a great diet. I exercise. I get to spend time with my husband, which I never got to do beforehand. I get to see my family. I get to travel. Like, everything happens for a reason. And it's usually, if you look at your glass half full or half empty, you're usually going to come out on top when it comes to any challenge that you get. So.
Yeah, though that is, I think it takes sometimes hitting rock bottom or, being pushed into an area where you're uncomfortable for change to happen because, yeah, my eBay business came out of I lost my job, was downsized out of a job for the second time in 3 years, and went through a divorce all at the same time. And I just decided, out of desperation, I just started selling stuff to keep the bills paid, and my kids were 6 and 8 at the time. And, then I realized I could do this all the time, and I just wasn't going to put myself in a position where anybody could take my job away from me again. So I hear you on that. Well, and a lot of people have looked at your pictures and they assume you live in like San Francisco or somewhere that housing is real expensive and you can't, this is where you're stuck. So what city are you in?
Well, I'm in Florida, South Florida, Fort Lauderdale.
Fort Lauderdale, okay.
Yeah, we've lived here for 13 years. Now, we could move to this apartment on August 1st. It's August 1st.
Oh, so you've only been in there not even 2 weeks.
Not even 2 weeks. And so we moved from 11, I moved right across the pond. Literally across the pond. I could swim to my other apartment, but it was 1,100 square feet. So we had a roommate all our lives living over there. And when I started the eBay business, we were finding ways to put stuff like my inventory without people seeing it. So I was coming up with ideas to hide everything, just like my extreme couponing stockpile. I never wanted someone to walk in my house and say, whoa, you're a hoarder. Because I'm not.
Right. So all of your items that you got with your couponing venture that you had stockpiled, you have that too.
Yeah, I have that too, and I have it all, like, if you go in my bathroom and open up, I have, like, a little linen closet in there. If you open it up, you'll see rows and rows of supplies.
Oh, that's great.
They're all organized, label spacing. I'm so weird about having everything perfect.
Well, I mean, you have to live in there, too. You have to live there, and to speak to storing things in your bathroom, I'm in a 1,200 square foot apartment with my daughter right now, and we both have an eBay business, and I've just taken on a consignment project with my church, and all of their stuff is under my bathroom cabinets. So it's like I have my 1 bottle of shampoo and my 1 bottle of conditioner, and all of my storage, for extra stuff is for either my inventory or my consignment client's inventory. So, that's fine with me. I'd rather have things around me that are going to make me money than just stuff that sits there.
Exactly. Like, when I got sick, it was, I was running into the money issue. I was the breadwinner at that time. I was the breadwinner, and I was, like, running into issues on, we can't afford this, we can't afford that, the hospital bills.
Oh, yes.
Knocking me over, plus everything else, and that's when I said, I need to help. I was stuck in a recliner. I couldn't move. I couldn't even feed myself at the time. I was so sick, and my husband did not understand that I still wanted to help. And that's when he said, well, what's this TV show about couponing? Because I'm really good with numbers. And I'm like, oh. So that's when, I was trying to help out with the family. And I said, the one thing I've refused to ever have an empty refrigerator or not be able to afford stove, stuff like that. So I have that. Like, I have probably 30 bottles of laundry soap, and I use it for my business because I launder all my food that I bring in the house. I launder before I toast it. So it's all convenient for me.
Well, and it sounds like you're very resourceful. Whatever situation you're put in, you figure out a way out of it. And I think, too many times, and the media reinforces this, that you're stuck, you're doomed, it's terrible, and it's not. There's always an answer. You just have to figure it out. So I really,
to pray and then figure it out. That's my whole goal. Help me out, and I'll help you. You gotta ask.
Yeah, absolutely. If you don't ask, you don't get. That's right. So you're in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Now, you've been in your apartment there for a couple of weeks. And so, wow, it's really clean and organized. I was like, this is the cleanest apartment I've ever seen.
It's funny because I did this because it's 800 square feet. We moved here because I'm building a summer home up north on my property. My dad's a farmer, so we have farm property, and I'm building a tiny barn.
Oh, I love that, the tiny house movement. That's so interesting. Yeah.
So it's not going to be on wheels. It's going to be on a foundation because I'm going to become a farmer, help my dad farming, and it's 600 square feet. That's what I wanted. And the contractor said to me, that's way too small. My dad said, that's too small. You can't do that. Everybody was against me on the side. And I said, I'll prove it to you. And when we got back to Florida, I said to my husband, get ready. We're closing the store down. The store was closed. My stores were closed from vacationing for a month and a half. And I said, we're going to keep the stores closed, and we're going to move. We're moving to 800 square feet, and I'm going to show you that I can do this. Because no one tells me I can't. I will show you.
Oh, I'm the same way. Yeah, that's my ticket to just, you just shut up because I'm going to do it. You just watch me. Yeah. So you're transitioning to living tiny now by being in that smaller space.
Yeah.
And I can tell you that I moved from like a 3,000 square foot home last year. I downsized. My youngest went off to college, and it was just too much for one person to take care of. And I love my apartment. It's just easy. There's not as, it takes me like 8 minutes to clean the whole thing. And
like every morning I wake up and I make my bed, because it's in the living room or in the dining room. You have to make bed, but I make sure I take 10 minutes every day, and I dust and I clean up and I do the dishes, and my husband does all the cooking, but I do the laundry, and I make sure everything is done and everything is back in place before I even get my shower in the morning. Get my day started.
Wow. Well, and your husband sounds like the only thing he's missing is a cape. He's like super husband.
Yeah, he's just a good guy. I mean, he stuck by me the whole time I was sick, and he was very loyal. And I even said when I found out I got sick, I said, I don't blame you if you want to get a divorce, because I didn't expect somebody to stand by my side during this, part of my life. And he looked at me and he said, I promise front of God and our loved ones and family and friends, but I will love you till I die, and I will love you and take care of you till you die. And I die. And I'm like,
wow.
That's a good man.
You are so blessed. That's wonderful.
I don't know what I did to get him, but
so your tiny living is getting ready for more tiny living, which I think is great. I love that whole movement, and that's good for us as eBay sellers, because as people embrace tiny living and minimalism, guess what? They're going to have to get rid of their stuff. And if you're willing to sell on consignment, that's another avenue to go. I read something, I think it was the New York Post or New York Times this week, that the average American home has 300,000 items in it. And just think about that. And that's crazy. You know, your stuff owns you. So it's really, I think there's a movement towards not having as much stuff, and you know, that's where we come in to sell everything, and things will get donated and they'll be out there for us to find to sell. So let's go through some of your pictures here that you posted on the group. Just talk about what you've got going on. I'm looking at the one that has all the tubs lined up against the wall, and it looks like a little table in the middle that's probably for your packing and shipping. So how many of those tubs do you have?
Well, I was for moving. I should probably know the exact number from going up and down 2 places. That's with us, but that's probably 30 to 40 tubs.
Okay.
The reason I did this is I actually had them hanging, all my stuff hanging in brackets coming out of the wall originally in the old place. But my house caught on fire while I was on vacation.
Oh no!
I had to stay early, and the house was filled with smoke. And he called me up and he said, and this is the whole reason, another reason we decided to get rid of everything we own. He's like, the house is filled with smoke. What do you want me to see? I said, eBay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care about anything else in that house except for my birds. It's my birds. I said, the birds and eBay. That's the only thing I'm worried about. And he managed to save my eBay stuff, but he said the best thing to do if the sprinklers would have went on, all of my clothes would have been ruined.
Well, and that's one thing when I see pictures of other sellers' storage areas and they've got everything hanging like a store, or everything's out in the open on shelves, you know, 2 things. If there's ever a fire and there's smoke, that stuff's going to be ruined. If you've got it in tubs, you know, in plastic tubs, at least you've got a chance of it not getting the smoke smell. And then, you know, water damage, a pipe could break. There could be, you know, a tornado, a storm, a tree fall on your house, a hole in your roof, whatever, and your stuff's going to get all wet and ruined. And yeah, insurance will cover it, but you've done all the work to sell these things, and yeah, insurance will cover it, and you'd probably get a claim from your homeowners. But I feel the same way. I'm like, you know, eBay is like my third child. You know, you don't mess with that.
Yeah. Well, it's a livelihood. It's what puts food on our table, and you know, a tan on my skin when I go to the beach. You know,
right.
It's my livelihood.
Well, and I look at it like, as you know, it's like money in the bank. You know, there's no other investment in the world that I know of with that's as low risk. For every dollar you spend, the return you're going to get. So to me, it's an investment.
Oh, it is. And we have, living in South Florida, we have bugs. Like, we have the craziest looking bugs.
Oh, those palmetto bugs?
Oh, we have that. We have here, but I live right in the back of the Everglades.
Yeah.
So I have crazy creatures here, but this protects it. Like, and also, I find it a lot easier when I ship something out. All I have to do is go in the room, look at the chart, find the inventory number, pull it, and put it in the package with my label, and I'm done. Before, I used to have to take the shirt down, you know, de-wrinkle it a little bit and hang, you know, put the tissue tape on, and like that's the whole process. Now it's just so much easier to ship than it was before.
Yeah, and if you look at, you've worked in retail, and I don't know if you worked in like mail order retail, but you know, like Kohl's Warehouse or LL Bean, everything they have is stored in plastic with the label on the outside, and you just go back there, the workers just pull it and ship it. So, you know, yes, if you're in a store, things are on hangers, but we're mail order, so you got to arrange your business like a mail order business. And you know, some people are like, oh, I can't believe that you just fold things up and ship them in a poly mailer. And I'm like, well, what happens when you order stuff from LL Bean or Land's End or Kohl's? This is exactly how you receive it, folded up in plastic in a poly mailer. So if it's good enough for them, it's good enough for me. So I'm just saying to you guys listening, think about how you're storing your stuff. Is it protected from, if there's a fire, water, bugs, even if you have pets, because I don't know if you ever had cats or dogs, but it gets all in the air. And then it lands on the
Yeah.
clothes. And then, if it's sitting there for a couple of months and you go to ship it, it's going to have that stuff all over it. And you're going to have to spend some time lint rolling or whatever. So that's another reason, is to just put it in plastic and put it in a tub and seal it up, and then it's ready to go. So
I even had shirts that when I was folding them and preparing them then I would find shirts that died onto each other from being stored. Like a dark red shirt, and there was like a cream shirt right behind it.
Oh, right.
It kind of got pink image on it. So
yeah,
I recommend
the colors can bleed on each other, so that's another thing, just to have that plastic barrier. So I'm going to give you a gold star on that. So let me move to the next picture here. It looks like your family room den area with your computer and your TV. So I'm guessing
that's my living room.
Living room. I mean, it looks great. It looks, just like you've got exactly what you need there. You don't need a ton of equipment for this. Do you have a regular printer, or do you have one of those smaller Dymo printers?
I actually have a laser printer.
Laser.
I did have a eBay printer, but I didn't like it at all. I used it once, and if I like it once, I'm not going to go back to it. So it's actually going to be put up in one of my eBay stores to sell once I found the box to go with it. But I use a laser printer, and we have 3 TVs set up. One TV is my desktop, then there's the main TV that we watch our YouTubes on, and we got rid of cable, so we just do Amazon Prime TV on there. The other TV I have right next to it is for my husband's desktop for when he does Amazon.
Okay.
So we can just take my chair and slide it over there so he can use it, and we use my laser printer for all.
Great. Yep, I see 3 TVs there now, or 3 screens anyway. Okay, and so the next picture is your bedroom, which is your dining room, which I think that's fantastic, because who cares? I mean, it's like your house. You have to make it work for you, and it looks good.
I was looking at IKEA. I love IKEA. We actually have IKEA right down the road. So I went through IKEA's catalog. I went through with my husband, actually through IKEA, and I said, look at a whole apartment and something that's like the size of our living room. We can do this. We don't have company come over. We're not children. We don't have tons of friends, and we're not family where we live. So it just makes sense to us. And this way, I can watch, like, my husband could be sleeping, and I could still be working. And if he wants to talk to me, I'm right there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's great. Now, it looks like you have a little sun porch where you've got some stuff out there.
Yeah, it's actually a lot bigger than what the picture shows. But my husband stores his tools out there, and we have birds. So we keep the birds out there. And my husband goes out there. He's out there all the time doing projects and stuff like that. So it's kind of like an extension off our living room.
Mm-hmm.
And it's nice all year round here. So it's not like it's winter time and we have to worry about the weather. So he loves it out there. He's out there probably more than he is inside.
Well, and again, if you're organized, you can fit a lot of things in, and it's using the space really in a non-traditional way that just works for you. So I love it how it's organized and neat, and really the fewer things you have, the more efficient your life is. You're just not tied up with clutter and cleaning it and tripping over stuff, and you can't find stuff, and why am I dragging this around with me and moving it again? So I think it looks great. And then now the next. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Before we moved here, we got rid of all our furniture. We used to have like really big bedroom furniture. We had big couch and chairs and stuff like that. We found a dining room table my husband redid. It was beautiful, but it's big, and we never sat at the table. And I'm like, why do we have all this furniture? I've never sat on this one recliner. Why do we have it? And I said, we need to get rid of everything we don't need. If we don't use it within the next month, we get rid of it. We donated it all recycling, keeping a nice carbon footprint. We're all about and conscious about the environment. So it made us feel good that we were able to donate it all, but it made our lives so much and gave us the opportunity to go small.
Well, and another thing today, which I think has changed definitely a lot in the last 20 years, is it's so easy and cheap to replace anything. You can replace stuff so inexpensively. I remember when I got married back in 1988, everybody was buying their furniture at Haverty's and taking out credit to buy all this nice furniture, and my kids don't have to do that. And in fact, I'm teaching them not to. I'm like, no, you can go to Goodwill and find this, crappy looking table for $5 and you can paint it real cute and you don't have to do that. So I think we are, at least my generation, I'm Gen X, I guess you are too, is like our parents want us to have all their old stuff. My parents are in their late 70s and they're trying to give me all this stuff. And I'm like, I just don't want it. I just don't have attachment to things. And, if I need something, there's like 8 thrift stores within a 5-mile radius. I could just go out and get a used one really cheap and it's fine. So I don't think we have that tendency to just hang on to things, because life for our generation, and especially the millennials, is now becoming more about spending time and money having experiences, not stuff. So, that's why I just loved your pictures, because that really appeals to me. So now we're looking at the picture of looks like your photo area. You've got a nice screen backdrop hanging on the wall, and your what do you call those things? Those light umbrella things. I don't know the right word.
Call them umbrellas.
Okay, those photography umbrellas. Yes, I don't know the right word. And your shipping area is so neat and tidy, and then you've got more stuff on hangers over there. It looks like maybe getting ready to process that.
Exactly.
But
that's what every week we come home when we go thrifting twice a week during the week, not on the weekends, always during the week, and to come home we launder the items. After they're laundered, they go on the rowing rack. That one rowing rack, and I'm not allowed to have any more other than what's on that rowing rack. If that rowing rack is full, I'm not allowed to go sourcing until that rowing rack's empty.
Well, you get another gold star for self-control and putting yourself on inventory lockdown until everything is listed. And I'm not picking on people, because I know some folks live in areas where sourcing is only during the summer because their weather's so bad and they're in rural areas and they have to get it while they can get it. But those of us that live in cities with, thrift stores everywhere, finding inventory is never the problem. It's always disciplining yourself to get things listed so they can sell. My daughter just came over here. We're in our tiny apartment, so I'm practically in the kitchen, but she just came over here so excited. You sold something for $100, and how much did it cost? $2. What was it?
The Lafayette 148.
It's a brand called Lafayette 148. Anyway, so she's just standing here so excited, about to jump out of her skin. So, yay, Melanie! $100 sale! You're buying dinner tonight! So, anyway, but yeah, I love your apartment. You just have everything so organized. So, do you mostly do clothing, or what types of items do you sell?
I mainly do clothing, men's and women's. No, my Amazon, where we do FBA, I do my couponing stuff and toys and, the usual Amazon stuff. But I mainly do clothing. Now, I do have 3 eBay stores, and one of the eBay stores are all the things I couldn't put into Amazon, like the one that was ranked too high or it was restricted or whatever. I put that on that store. So it's only like probably 150 to 200 items in that store, and that's it. But mainly clothing. Clothing's always been my forte. It's always been my niche. I know everything about it because I went to college for it. I was taught to pay attention to every little detail. retail, and I learned how, as a buyer, I learned what the buyers out there are looking for when it comes to descriptions and stuff like that. So definitely clothing.
So your major was, you said, fashion design?
That's
Merchandising. Okay, great. And that's the perfect, springboard to doing this. I've had a lot of clients who come out of retail, or even, they've got a PhD in some kind of human resources or whatever, but, their thing is they worked at a high level for a retail company, clothing, Kohl's, those kind of stores, where they love clothing, but they want to make their money in a different way. So that's perfect. So can you share, how many items do you have in your store?
Well, altogether, I have 3 stores, and right now, just because I'm coming off a 3-month break, I probably have 800 items altogether in my
That's
stores
great.
right now. I'm hoping before quarter 4 kicks in September, I'm shooting for at least 1,000 in all my stores, just because I want to go full force for quarter 4.
Yeah, definitely. Can you share what your monthly profit is for all your eBay ventures?
Well, with my eBay stores, I roughly, like I said, during the summer, I don't sell that much, so I'm going by May, because I got the store May 22nd. I closed my store down to go on trip, but I made probably 2,800 on my 3 stores.
Is it 2,800 profit?
Yeah.
Wow, I need to come down there on a vacation to Fort Lauderdale and take some lessons from you, because
like I said, we have a goodwill on every 5 steps of the goodwill. We have great thrift stores, and I shop at Macy's with coupons, and I get my inventory pretty cheap, and I sell pretty high. I mean, I take a really good pictures. I take 12 pictures. I put the measurements. Any little spot, I make sure I tell everything that's wrong with the item. I even take pictures of arrows pointing to the spots they know.
Right.
And
yeah.
I offer free shipping. I offer, half free returns, and you can sell your item for a little bit more money because you do all these things. So I make it pretty clear. Like, I could buy something for $2, but Anthropology is one of my biggest sellers.
Oh, I love that. It's like learning all the sub brands is the challenge with that one.
I love everything about the whole umbrella of Urban Outfitters and Anthropology. But you can buy, I could buy a dress for $2 and I could sell it for $70, even though my competition's selling it for $60, because I offer the original pictures. And my biggest pet peeve is box photos. In fact, just 2 days ago, buyer or seller lost my business because they had stock photos, and I was looking for the straps to a dress that I had. And I lost the one spot, and I broke the strap to it.
Oh.
And I was willing to buy the whole entire dress for that strap. And I asked the question, and within, of course, they wait forever to get back with me, and then she got an attitude with me. So I'm like, are you serious? You're going to, like, a $40 sale she just missed, and I'm going to turn around and I'm going to sell the dress, and I'm going to sell for more than what she had hers off, even though mine's missing the strap, because she didn't have original photos, and she was nasty.
Well, and it's like, hey, I want to give you some money. Could you take a few minutes to answer my question? And so for sellers that don't answer promptly or at all, those buyers just move on to somebody else. They're not going to wait. Yeah. Well, that's fantastic profit. And I think I know the 800 items is what's behind that. You've just got to have, you've just got to be a consistent lister, and you've got to pay attention to the details and give good customer service. That's really the 3 things that's going to make it. So I've asked you a whole bunch of questions because just everybody wants to know about you. I don't think I've ever seen a post on my Facebook group get that many likes so quickly, because people were just fascinated with how you do this. I did want to ask you though, you're in Florida, so do you see a lot of winter stuff, like people moving down there from the north, or the whole snowbird thing,
Oh,
and they dump their sweaters and their coats and all that after
yes,
they get down there?
yes. It's unbelievable that like just the other day I walked in and there was snow. I think the snowsuit was originally $1,500, and I got it. It was in perfect condition, $15. And I'm like, I can't believe it. Stuff that people, and it's everybody's rich down here. People just throw money on the ground. People are so low down. Like, I'm just close to Miami, and when you go shopping near South Beach, oh my golly, this is something you could get.
Oh
And
wow, I bet you. Yeah, you are close to there. That's like a little day trip. You could go and get some really expensive treasures.
yeah, oh, it's just great. Like the goose cheese. I try to stay away from high end brands because it's hard to authenticate and stuff like that.
Oh
But
yeah, they can be
it's
so many
unbelievable.
fakes. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we have the Sawgrass Mall, Outlet Mall, that's the second biggest mall in America. And I used to work there. Like, it is literally 3 minutes from my house. I can walk there. And you can go in those outlet stores and you can find so many great stuff. And then you put on eBay and you can turn around for profit. And it's new with tax.
Yeah.
So,
And it's like when
yeah,
you live in these big cities or in these affluent areas and you see this stuff all the time, you become desensitized. You
yeah.
think everyone has this around them, and they don't. Um, I
Yeah.
don't know if you've ever been to Wyoming. I always go back to this example, but I went out there about 10 years ago for a vacation at a ranch, and it was like 3 hours to a Walmart. I mean, there just wasn't
Oh,
anything around. I mean, it's beautiful country, and I loved the vacation, but it was just,
yeah.
when you're in a city and this much abundance is around you all the time, you really become desensitized, and you think, well, everyone has this. Why would someone buy this on eBay when they can just go a mile down the road and get it? And they can't.
Yeah.
That's why eBay works. Is it's really redistribution of stuff. The haves to the have-nots, and they're going to pay for the delivery, the shipping. They're just happy to be able to find it online and have it show up in their mailbox because, um,
Exactly.
they may be 3 hours from a Walmart, but guess what? The mail comes 6 days a week, and UPS comes 5 days a week, and they can get anything they want online. And we're the people that are helping connect them with that. So
Yeah.
that's wow, you live in a great area. So I guess we'll wrap this up. I've taken up enough of your time. So what is the best tip you can give other sellers who either already work in a small area and need to get organized, or maybe heading towards downsizing and want to take their eBay business with them?
Well, my biggest tip is to utilize the dead space in your house. Like, for example, if you have wall space, put a shelf there. Utilize that space. Utilize the space underneath beds. Like, underneath my couch, I put my paper for my printer underneath my couch. I utilize every single space. And when I bring something out, for example, if I take my toothbrush out, brush my teeth, and immediately when I'm done, it goes right back where it goes. Everything has a space. And don't think that you have to go run out and spend thousands of dollars at the container store to do your store, your eBay business. Look around, see what you have in your house that you can use as something else. Like I have these ornaments we use for an extension on our couch or for our feet. Well, you open them up, and I have eBay supplies in there.
Yep.
You utilize everything.
Yeah, I do that too in my small apartment. The laundry room behind the door, there's a bunch of shelves built in the wall, and that's where we put all our shipping supplies. It's out of the way,
Yeah.
but it's perfect for that, and we don't have to look at it all the time. But I didn't have to buy any type of storage thing for that. But you're definitely right. Use what you've got. Look for storage containers at thrift stores. I buy laundry
Yeah.
baskets all the time for 50 cents or $1, just because I'm always toting stuff, and this pile needs to be photographed and this pile needs to be put away, and I have all these things in different stages. So I mean, it looks like I'm doing all this laundry, but it's just containers for stuff.
being organized. You have to stay organized. If you're in any business or any way you want to be successful in your life, you have to make sure you're comfortable in your environment, it's organized, and it's functionable. And if it's not functionable, step back, give yourself 2 minutes, think about the way it would be better for you so you can get your project done, because things are piling up. And if you're not comfortable in listing and taking pictures and you're not happy with it, it's going to keep piling up and you're going to be in the poorhouse with a bunch of stuff surrounding you that you don't have any way of taking care of it. So organization and being clean, and my mom always said, you take something out, you put it back. You always have to remember one thing out of place could disrupt your whole environment. So you make sure you put that toothbrush back, or you make that bed, or you make sure your tissue paper is lined up correctly so it doesn't get ruined and doesn't get in your way when you're taking pictures and so forth.
Right, exactly. And one thing I've heard from clients over the years, that it's such a big task to get organized. And, well, that's going to take me 2 days to do that. Well, you know what? Down the road, it's going to save you time when you're looking for that item to ship it, or, whatever. Keeping things organized saves you time in the future. It is a time investment to take on that big project. But once you get it organized, if, like you said, you create small habits every day to keep it organized, then it's just maintenance. So, I encourage anybody out there who's got an organizing task ahead of them, just time block that out. Just say, I'm putting everything I can in my life on hold for a couple of days and getting this organized, because it will make your workspace more comfortable and efficient. And it's going to save you money too, because if you can't find something, you can't ship it. You're going to have to cancel the order. You're going to have to refund their money, and you can get a defect for that.
Yeah. I've done eBay for 3 years, knock on wood, but I've never not been able to find an item.
That's great.
I never had that problem.
Yeah, it looks like you would not, looking at your storage situation, looks like you're really on top of everything.
Yeah.
So,
I try.
Okay, well, I will let you go, and thanks again for spending some time with us and helping inspire other sellers, because it looks like you're really on top of things. And I'll put the name of your store up if you want people to go check you out. What is your store name again?
It's Lyndsay's Lot.
Okay.
2014.
Okay, great.